I don't need millions of dollars.
You'd have pretty girls fawning all over you. He smiled rakishly.
I only need one pretty girl fawning all over me, and she's not interested. Now what brings you down here? Want to work out?
No. I wondered if you wanted to go for a swim. Mr. Kadam has ordered us to relax today. He grabbed a towel and scrubbed his face and head.
A swim, huh? It might cool me off.
He peeked from around his towel.
Unless you're planning to wear a bikini.
I snorted. I don't think so. I'm not a bikini kind of girl. He affected a deep, dramatic sigh.
That's a pity. All right, meet you at the pool.
I headed upstairs and changed into my red one-piece swimsuit, slipped on a robe, and stepped out onto the veranda. Keyshawn had changed into a pair of board shorts and was setting up the net for water volleyball. I just tossed my robe onto a deck chair and tested the water with my foot when I felt something cold on my back. Yikes, what are you doing?
Hold still. You need sunscreen. Your skin is so white you'll burn.
He efficiently coated my back and neck with lotion and started on my arms when I stopped him. I can take it from here, thanks, I said, holding out my hand for the bottle. I squeezed out a quarter-sized blob of lotion and rubbed it onto my arms and legs. It smelled like coconuts. Keyshawn grinned, glanced at my legs, and winked.
Take your time.
By the time he got the ball and a couple of towels out of the storage locker, I was done. He asked,
Care for a game of volleyball?
You'll beat me.
I'll take the deep end. It'll slow me down.
Okay, I guess we can try. He took a step closer.
Hold on a second.
What? He grinned mischievously.
You missed a spot.
Where?
Right here.
He dabbed a giant blob of sunscreen on my nose and laughed. I punched him and smiled. You troublemaker. I reached up to try and blend it in better.
Here,
he said.
Let me.
I let my hands drop down to my sides while his fingers lightly brushed the lotion over my nose and cheeks. The touch was friendly at first, but then his mood changed. He closed the distance between us. His golden eyes studied my face. I sucked in a deep breath and ran. I took a few steps and cannonballed into the deep end of the pool, effectively splashing him and everything else nearby. He laughed and dove in after me. I shrieked and swam underwater to the other side of the net. When I popped my head above water, I couldn't see him. A hand grabbed my ankle and tugged me under. After I surfaced again, coughing and pushing the hair out of my eyes, Keyshawn sprung up next to me, flipped his hair back with a toss of his head, and laughed as I tried to shove him. He didn't budge, of course, so I splashed water at him instead, which turned into a water fight. It soon became painfully obvious that I was losing. His arms never seemed to tire, and when wave after wave of water drowned out my pathetic splashing, I called a timeout. He happily stopped the bombardment and, using his arms, pushed himself up and out of the pool to grab the volleyball. We started playing, and I was delighted to see that I'd finally found a game where I seemed to have an advantage. After I spiked the ball for the third time, winning another point, Keyshawn asked,
Where did you learn to play? You're pretty good.
I've never played in the water before, but I was decent at standard volleyball in high school. I almost joined the team, but that was the year my parents died. I wasn't as interested in playing the next year, but it's still my favorite game. I did okay at basketball too, but I was never tall enough to be competitive. Did you guys play sports?
We didn't really have time for sports. We had competitions in archery, wrestling, and some games like Parcheesi, but no team sports.
Still, you can see I'm barely winning against you, even though you're in the deep end and have never played before. Keyshawn grabbed the ball out of the air and fell into the water. When he surfaced, he was right across from me on the other side of the net. He lifted it and swam under. My feet were barely touching the bottom of the pool, leaving only my face above water. Our heads were at about the same level. He was still a good 3 feet away, and I narrowed my eyes wondering what he was up to. He watched me for a moment and smiled mischievously. I prepared for another water fight by raising my arms to splashing position. Kishan was next to me in an instant. He snaked his arms around my waist, yanked me close, grinned roguishly, and said,
"What can I say? I'm very competitive."
Then he kissed me. I froze. Our lips were wet from the water. The chlorine taste was strong, and he didn't move at first, so I could have been kissing the cool tile on the side of the pool for all I knew. But then, he squeezed my waist, slid his hands up to caress my bare back, and tilted his head. All of a sudden, the clean, wet, bleached-out non-kiss turned into a very real kiss from a very potent man who was very much not Ren. Kishan's lips warmed and moved against mine in a pleasant way. Pleasant enough that I forgot that I didn't want to kiss him and felt myself responding. My hands stopped pushing against him, and I gripped his strong upper arms. His skin was smooth and warm from the sun. He responded with enthusiasm, wrapping one arm around my waist to crush me against his chest, while the other hand slid up my bare back to cup the back of my head. For the briefest of moments, I let myself delight in his embrace. But then, I remembered, and instead of making me happy or blissful, as kisses should, it made me sad. I broke off the kiss and drew slightly away. Kishan kept his arm around my waist and placed a finger under my chin, tilting my face so I'd look at him. He studied my expression quietly. My eyes filled with tears. One rolled down my cheek and dropped to his hand. He smiled tenuously.
"Not exactly the reaction I was hoping for."
He reluctantly let me go as I swam away to sit on a step of the pool. I never claimed to be an expert kisser, if that's what you mean.
"I'm not talking about the kiss."
"Then what are you referring to?" He didn't say anything. I spread my fingers and placed my hand on the surface of the water, letting it tickle my palm. Without looking at him, I asked quietly, "Have I ever given you a reason to hope for more?" He sighed and swept his hair back ruefully.
"No. But..."
"But what?" I looked up. Big mistake. Kishan looked vulnerable, sort of hopeless and hopeful at the same time. Wanting to believe but not daring to. He seemed angry, frustrated, and unfulfilled. His despairing golden eyes were full of longing, but they also glittered with determination.
"But I just can't help thinking that maybe Ren was taken for a reason. That maybe fate intervened. That maybe you were meant to be with me all along."
I replied bitingly, "The only reason that Ren was taken was because he volunteered himself to save our lives. Is this how you repay him?" I watched the sting of my words wound him. It was easy to blame Kishan, but I was more upset with my reaction to him. I felt incredibly guilty about letting the kiss happen at all. My accusation was as much to me as to him. That I'd actually enjoyed his kiss made me feel even worse. He swam to the side and rested his back against the wall of the pool.
"You think I don't care? Don't you? You think I don't feel anything for my brother, but I do. Despite everything that's happened, I wish I was the one who had been taken. You'd have Ren, Ren would have you, and I'd get what I deserved.
Kishan!
I'm serious. Do you think a day goes by that I don't hate myself for what I've done? For what I feel?
I winced.
You think I wanted to fall for you? I stayed away from you. I gave him the chance to be with you. But there's another part of me that asks, what if you're not supposed to be with Ren? What if you were supposed to be the answer to my prayers, not his?
He watched me from the other side of the pool. Even from this far away, I could see that he was hurting. Kishan,
And before you say anything, I want to warn you that I don't want your sympathy. It would be better if you said nothing than if you tried to tell me you didn't like it or that you feel only friendship for me.
That's not what I was going to say.
Good. Then are you admitting that you did like it? That there is chemistry between us? That you are attracted to me?
Do you need me to admit it? He folded his arms across his chest.
Yes, I think I do.
I threw my hands up in the air. Fine. I admit it. I liked it.